My hair is bomb and everything around me is shit. I don't know if you know, but I've disparaged my college often enough that most people know it as that place I want to burn down, hell, or the abandoned orphanage for ghosts. No, you probably know the last one because I call it that in my videos, but it's also the place that I wish I could burn down. So I'm not having an existential crisis tonight, but I'm up late, I've been thinking too much, and I figured I'd film a video anyways because I've been talking to a lot of you recently and that's been awesome. And it got me thinking about the first video I made where I was like, I'm 20 and I don't know what I'm doing, and everyone's like, we don't know what we're doing either. And so I've been kind of obsessed with this idea of being a lost generation, which you know if you've like been around me enough to watch my video on World Health Day or the article I wrote or the songs I've been writing. They're all kind of centered around that idea. And there's like this, I mean, you can argue that you can't really give characteristics to an entire generation just because we happen to like be born in the same age, but I really think that it's something that due to the current political, economic, and like just all of this stuff happening, that it does have an effect. And because of the time we were born in, that a lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us are affected by it. But I said in that video that I'm not ashamed of being in a lost generation. And the more I think about it, the more it's like, there's nothing wrong with those qualities that make us feel lost. The fact that we're trying to figure things out, the fact that we're trying to like relearn everything that we've been told, which turns out isn't true or is very like limited in scope. And that's kind of hit me more because I'm in college here in India and their scope is more limited than mine, but it's also a almost 180 on some perspectives, which has forced me to reevaluate, why do I believe these things, and is there another way of looking at it, and is that right or wrong? Because deciding that it's wrong is also helps kind of build your viewpoint. So there's that, and then at the same time, I was talking to a friend, and I thought, well, if you take the pressure out of the lost part, because one of the biggest problems is that we've been pressured since we, like, you know, you guys and like us, we've been pressured since we were kids to follow this step-by-step guide, and if you do this, then you have success, and if you don't do this, if you don't, you know, AP tests and score well, and college and score well, and then do a PhD program or master's or something and get a nice job and then settle down. If you don't do all of that, you haven't succeeded, and if you don't do all of that, there's so much pressure because you'll never be able to have a stable life. But then if you take that pressure out and you keep in all of the wondering and the figuring things out that kind of makes us, and there's still all the other problems, but it kind of creates a lost that is almost admirable. I mean, if so, like, not knowing what you're doing at 20 becomes, what can I do? I'm still figuring out what I can do. I'm not set. My friend commented on the last video that with age, that passion becomes practical. And if we maintain all the cultural characteristics that now define us, that I'm going with the hypothesis that they define us, we don't have to let ourselves become adults. We can still continue searching for ourselves, and that's a really good thing that a lot of other people don't get the chance to. And I know what like a couple friends are gonna say, and it's like, well, if you're rich and white, or if you have like the money to fall back on, you can do that. But I don't think that's true. I think even if you don't have that money to fall back on, if you're not pressured to have that kind of steady income, which, to be fair, a lot of people have that pressure because it's just the way that you're thought, like you want, like I can't live a migratory life where I try and go and find a job, and then when I want to move, I move and I find a place to, like, I don't settle. Like, I like the idea, but I know that with what I want to do in life, that's not practical for me. But if I don't consider, oh my god, what am I gonna do 2 years from now, 5 years from now, like how am I going to get to my end goal of building an NGO? How am I going to keep making videos when I need to study for my MLE, when I need to do masters? If I don't do that, instead go, okay, like I need to study right now, but I'll make a video because I have time and I want to think, and you know, this doesn't seem important to me, so I'm going to put it to the side for now, and I'm going to focus on my passion as much as I can without, like, you know, destroying everything else. Like I told you last time, I'm not good at chill, but there's a pressure that's like motivational drive. And I think having that without having the overwhelming anxiety is a goal that we should be trying to reach. Because if we kind of try and let go of the perception of what success means, of what we are expected to do, then we can do a lot more just because we've opened up avenues for ourselves. There's this thing called a transitional society, which developing countries like India are in right now, but as a whole I think we can use it to describe a lot of things where we're realizing that the lives our parents lived are not the lives that we necessarily have to live due to the effect of mass media and globalization. There's a lot of avenues that were otherwise closed to us, and for Americans, for Europeans, that's not something new, but for Indians and for other developing countries that kind of is, because it's like in India it used to be like, okay, you get a job, you marry, you move to your, like if you're a guy you stay with your parents or there, or you move to your husband's house, or you settle down wherever you get a job, and then you just have kids and you just keep going, and like that happens right after you finish college. So that happens within, like, how these guys are like 22, so it happens this like within 5 years for them. I mean, they're doctors, so it's a little different, but there's the idea that that doesn't have to be the only lifestyle. And I don't know if it's because I'm a first-gen kid or it's just I've been sheltered, but I'm coming to realize that I don't have to live that life either, and if I want to keep doing different things and searching for what I love doing and then changing my obsession and doing something else I love doing, my end goal is just to leave a mark, is to leave some kind of legacy, because part of me wants to be remembered, part of me wants to do something, not for selfish, I mean everything's selfish, but part of me wants to have a lasting impact. And I can do that without having to live the same lives that my parents lived. And I think that is one of the, like, figuring that out and coming to accept that is one of the goals that we should be driving towards. There will be more on that topic because I'm still researching it. I find it fascinating, and but for now I have to get back to studying, and I really want to hear what you guys think on this topic, even though like for 3 or 4 of you have already predicted your response, but I want to see if you surprise me or if you make really good points that I'm not thinking of. And yeah, see you guys in the next episode. Good night.